I doubted it was true. People questioned it. Could this really happen in real life? Is it possible for a father of 7, known as a family man, to hide something horrible beneath his house? This is the true story of Josef Fritzl. Stay with us as we uncover one of the darkest cases ever recorded in modern history. It happened in the peaceful town of Amstetten, Austria. Life there was simple. Quiet streets, bicycles leaning against the wall, neighbors who all knew each other. The house, like the others in the neighborhood, was painted cream with a red roof. It was big enough for their large family. Nothing about the house stood out from the outside. Amstetten was the kind of town where nothing unthinkable was ever supposed to happen. Living there was the Fritzl family, Josef, the father, and Rosemary, the mother, raising 7 children in a modest 2-story house. But on April 26, 2008, everything changed. Police uncovered something unimaginable hidden beneath the quiet house. Below, a hidden room was kept secret for 24 years, and it would soon be known as the secret room of the house. Amstetten wasn't the kind of town residents would expect to make headlines. People were confused as to why police and reporters had gathered around a specific house. Questions arise, and soon, they would all learn about the secret of Fritzl's house. Josef Fritzl was born in 1935 to a single mother. His father left when he was 4 years old, leaving Josef to his strict and sometimes violent mother, who once called him Satan's child. As he grew older, Josef studied electrical engineering and later married a quiet woman named Rosemary. Together, they built a family, 7 children, and a simple life in Amstetten. In town, Josef was seen as a reliable man, devoted husband, and caring father. To everyone, the Fritzls looked like any other family. It wasn't until 1967 where Josef was convicted of an assault on a young woman and spent a year in prison. His wife, Rosemary, stayed by his side. The town eventually forgot, but Josef never did, which led to one of the most true crime documentaries in history. No one could ever think that even after his first arrest, Josef would go on and plan something worse. A crime that would take place beneath his own house and last for 24 years. Among his 7 children was Elizabeth. She was born on April 6, 1966. She was the 4th child in the family. At 18, she dreamed of leaving home and starting her own life, but she never made it. Elizabeth disappeared without a trace. Her mother, Rosemary, was worried and desperate for answers. But Josef told her not to worry. Elizabeth had run away just as she did before. Still, Rosemary went to the police to report her missing daughter. Josef insisted that she had joined a cult and didn't want to be found. Then, a letter came. It was signed by Elizabeth and it told her parents not to look for her. Everyone believed she had run away. But Josef knew where Elizabeth was and the truth of her disappearance. In 1984, the year Elizabeth disappeared, Josef asked her for help in the basement renovation. He said he needed her to hold a heavy door. Elizabeth helped her father hang the door as he installed it. She just wanted to help, unaware it would change her life forever. She was trapped for 24 years. After the door was installed, Joseph pushed Elizabeth inside and pressed a soaked cloth over her mouth until she was unconscious. And his plan succeeded. Elizabeth woke up in the basement that her father built for her. Elizabeth was terrified. She cried for help, but no one could hear her. The basement was soundproof, windowless, with only dim light and a small fridge inside. She was trapped, deep underground. And there, her nightmare had begun. The letter was actually written by Elizabeth. Joseph just forced her to write it down so no one would suspect she was missing. People believed it. They really thought Elizabeth ran away. But she didn't. She is still with him, right below Fritzl's house. Every day, Joseph goes down to the basement to bring food. His wife, Rosemary, was clueless. She thought her husband was fixing machines to sell, but the truth was worse. For 24 years, Elizabeth was held captive and abused by her father, just below her family. He abused her in every way imaginable. Her desperate cries for help were useless. No one heard a thing. During those years, she gave birth in that dark room 7 times. She had children with her own father. Soon, the cellar couldn't hold them all. Joseph had brought 3 of the children upstairs: Lisa, Monica, and Alexander. He left them on the doorstep with a letter, supposedly from Elizabeth, asking her parents to take them in. The rest of the children, Kirsten, Stefan, and Felix, remained with Elizabeth. One of them, a newborn, didn't survive. Later, Joseph admitted he destroyed any evidence of it. But the basement was failing. The air was running out in the basement. It is not enough for Elizabeth and the 3 children. They struggled to breathe in the world their father had built. Joseph was not prepared for this problem. He hadn't planned for it during the renovation of the basement. Later, his oldest daughter, Kirsten, became ill. On April 9, 2008, Elizabeth persuaded Joseph to bring their daughter to the hospital. He agreed. Joseph and Elizabeth carried Kirsten upstairs. For the first time in 24 years, Elizabeth saw the light of day. But only for a moment. Joseph locked her back inside and took Kirsten to the hospital himself. At the hospital, the moment doctors saw Kirsten, they noticed something odd about her physical appearance. The girl was too pale. It was as if her skin had never been touched by the sunlight. That confused the doctors, so they tried to look for Kirsten's medical record but found none. Confusion turned to suspicion when Joseph, who introduced himself as Kirsten's grandfather, couldn't explain why Kirsten had no medical records. They asked about Kirsten's mother. Joseph couldn't explain it and just told them she wasn't around because she joined a cult. The word cult made the doctors suspect more, so they decided to make a televised appeal about Kirsten's identity and where her mother was. Down in the basement, Elizabeth watched everything on a small TV. She saw her daughter on the screen, feeling helpless. She begged Joseph to let her out to see Kirsten. Joseph agreed. He took her to the hospital where Kirsten was. For the first time, she finally stepped out of the house that had held her captive for 24 years. That single decision changed everything. It would lead to Josef Fritzl's arrest and the end of the secret beneath his house. Once they arrived at the hospital, staff alerted police about Elizabeth, claiming to be Kirsten's mother who joined the cult. She was pale, trembling, and quiet. The police arrived immediately. When police asked questions, Elizabeth remained quiet. She was afraid to talk and that she would put her children in danger. But after some persuasion from the police, she finally spoke. She told police that they promised she'd never see her father again. They accepted. she began to speak. Elizabeth revealed everything. The years of fear, isolation, abuse, and the room that existed beneath her home. The horrifying truth was finally revealed. Secret life hidden under the Fritzl home where Elizabeth and her children had been held for 24 years. The police were shocked. Is it really possible that a father could hide a crime for so long? When the police entered the house, they found a basement, a small underground world. A narrow room with a single bulb, a sink, toilet, and bunk beds. No one could imagine that anyone could survive there, not even for days, let alone 24 years. Elizabeth shared the years she lived under the father's control. She was trapped and cut off from the world. If she disobeyed, Josef would punish them and shut off the power, leaving them in total darkness. When asked why she never tried to escape that basement, Elizabeth told the investigator that her father had threatened them, saying the door was wired with electricity, and Josef had control of it. Soon after, police arrested Josef Fritzl and searched every corner of the house. Police were shocked when they discovered a coated steel door in the basement. It has narrow walls and maze-like tunnels. The air was damp and the room was dark. During the investigation, DNA confirmed that the 6 children were Josef's grandchildren and children. The revelation of this crime shocked the entire world. Crowds and reporters gathered outside the house, asking the same question. How could no one notice it? Why no one suspected anything? They thought Elizabeth had run away. Even the faint noises and dogs barking around the house may be why they ignored it. Rosemary and the family were clueless about the secret inside the basement, because Josef always told them the basement was off limits. They would never go down. The story spread and shocked the world. That made Josef's relatives come forward, revealing something about his past assault. In an interview, Josef's sister-in-law, Christine, revealed that Josef had been convicted of assault in 1967. She said his image as a kind and family man was far removed from the real Josef. Christine also shared that the man was strict and controlling. He ruled the house like a military dictator. The Austrian police confirmed that Josef had been planning the crime since the early 80s. He built the basement himself. As a retired engineer, Josef had drawn the blueprints himself. When neighbors asked what he was building, he told them it was a fallout shelter. No one questioned him. After Josef's arrest, Elizabeth and her 3 children were rescued and taken to the hospital. Kirsten, who was in critical condition, was treated well. In March 2009, during the trial, Josef Fritzl denied the accusations. He claimed Elizabeth had stayed in the cellar by choice, not by force. But the evidence and testimonies did not align with the statement. Josef, who was 73, was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison for the crimes, including unlawful imprisonment, assault, coercion, incest, and murder by neglect. Years later, in May 2024, Josef Fritzl was transferred to a psychiatric prison facility. Reports said he was suffering from dementia. A psychiatrist, Dr. Kastner, who once interviewed Josef Fritzl, said that his crime was because of his loveless childhood. He grew up wanting to take control, a need that would later define his crimes. His actions were driven by power, not passion. Among all his children, Josef chose Elizabeth, the one who dared to say no. Elizabeth was 42 when she was finally freed. She and her children began years of therapy to heal from what they had endured. In the years that followed, Elizabeth changed her name and moved to a new home with her 6 children, now grown, living quiet lives away from the public eye. She later married Thomas Wagner, the bodyguard who once protected the family. The story is one example of strength and survival. After years of fear and isolation, Elizabeth and her children chose to rise, rebuild their lives, and reclaim their freedom. Their story is not only a testament of humans' capability to overcome life, it is also a reminder that hope exists. Elizabeth's decision to live and protect her children is an example of a mother's pure love. Josef Fritzl will spend the rest of his life rotting in prison, consequences of his inhumane act. This true story teaches us something. It's easy to think the devil looks like something we can recognize easily. But sometimes it appears to be a kind neighbor, a father, or a husband. A devil in disguise. That a person can commit a horrific crime and hide it in plain sight, and no one will notice it. If you or someone you know is trapped in silence, speak. Help exists.